Special Forces Officer Xing Keilei just finished brain surgery and returned to duty. He couldn't wait to come to the training ground to report to his leader. Standing at the shooting range, Xing Keilei excitedly took his gun wanting to show off his skills, but he found his hands started to shake uncontrollably. The once expert marksman missed the target, which shocked everyone present. The team leader rushed over to comfort him, while Zhou Wenjing was also visibly upset. Everyone was worried, and Xing Keilei, who was very strong-willed, couldn't accept it at first. They told him that he had just had surgery and needed time to recover, not to be in a hurry. However, Xing Keilei didn't listen and secretly practiced shooting rice at night, but his right hand still shook. Remembering his girlfriend doctor's opposition when he decided to return early, he felt guilty and scared because his symptoms were likely a side effect of the surgery. He called Mi Jian and honestly told him about his situation. Mi Jian was happy because he finally wasn't alone anymore and gently reassured him not to rush. He promised to take him to see Director Xiao for a checkup the next day. After the examination, Xiao Yuhan said Xing Keilei's body was fine and advised him to relax and rest properly. Even if he wanted to exercise, he should do it gradually because his body wasn't fully recovered yet. However, Xing Keilei, with his strong desire to win, completely ignored this advice. He had always been number one and couldn't accept the current situation. After returning to the base, he started training hard, hoping to maintain his previous honor in the upcoming police competition. Dong Wenba saw his good friend getting stuck in a rut and tried to stop him from training, but he couldn't convince the stubborn Xing Keilei. Finally, he came up with an idea and used Mi Jian as an excuse. Dong Wenba, who was usually dense, didn't realize that this time he was being clever, but it caused big trouble for Mi Jian. His words planted doubts in Xing Keilei's mind, and what happened next became the trigger for the conflict between Xing Keilei and Mi Jian. The next day during mobile target shooting training, which Xing Keilei had invented, he couldn't hit the target. What made him even more angry was that Zhou Wenjing intentionally missed. The continuous setbacks made Xing Keilei more anxious and irritable, even losing control of the basic gun assembly and cutting himself by accident. At home, he argued with Mi Jian. Mi Jian was very sad and had actually planned to use the massage techniques she learned online to help Xing Keilei with his hand rehabilitation. But instead of being angry, she was worrying about whether it was her fault that led Xing Keilei to make the wrong choice. Finally, after Xiao's urging, Mi Jian called Dong Wenba to find out what had happened. The next morning, Mi Jian bought breakfast to explain face to face and kept practicing outside the door. But when she received a message from Xing Keilei saying he had gone back to the base and telling her not to worry, she thought everything was okay. Meanwhile, Xing Keilei was being criticized by Auntie. After knowing the whole story, the sister told him to apologize to Mi Jian immediately. Her words helped Xing Keilei break out of his loop and start reflecting on his own problems. He also learned from Dong Wenba that he had misunderstood Mi Jian. Realizing this, Xing Keilei rushed to apologize to Mi Jian, but when he arrived at the hospital, he hadn't even had a chance to speak before helping Mi Jian look for the missing patient. By checking the surveillance, Xing Keilei roughly figured out where Zhang Wei went. Then after checking the ward, he determined that Zhang Wei must have gone to the music hall. When they arrived, they found Zhang Wei trying to commit suicide on the railing on the upper floor of the music hall. Xing Keilei asked Xiao Xiao to call the police and firefighters, and asked Mi Jian, who was familiar with Zhang Wei, to talk to him to draw attention. He himself went around from